Hey guys, this is Janet with CBDApothecarysolutions.com. Just wanted to come to you today and talk to you a little bit about the differences between CBD and marijuana. Seems to be a lot of topic and a lot of talk about whether they're the same, whether they're different. So I wanted to go into a little in depth. It's not going to be just simple today. Is it different? Is it not? Is it hemp plant? Is it marijuana plant? I'm going to go just a little bit into cannabinoids and endocannabinoids and all those big words, but just to try to explain it so some of you who are interested in using the CBD products kind of better understand what it's all about. First of all, a cannabinoid is a class of diverse chemical compounds that act on cannabinoid receptors. And the cannabinoid receptors are the endocannabinoids. Those are the receptors that are both in human and animals. And the cannabinoids bind themselves to the endocannabinoids and help create what's called homeostasis. And homeostasis is a balance in the body where you stay in a stable condition irregardless of your outside or surrounding circumstances. The most notable or the most popular cannabinoid that we know is the phytocannabinoid tetrahydrocannabinol, known as THC. And everybody's familiar with that. And that is the primary psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. And it is a psychoactive. It does have a mental or a psychological effect on the brain and the mind. CBD, which is cannabidiol, is another major part of a cannabis or hemp plant. There are 113 different cannabinoids isolated from cannabis and existing varied plants such as hemp. I'm going to talk about the cannabinoid receptors in just a minute, but first I wanted to let you know there are two known types. There's CB1 and CB2. The human brain has more cannabinoid receptors than any other part of the body. This is why CBD has such good results with brain disorders such as Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety, seizures, epilepsy, Parkinson, post-traumatic stress disorder, and the list goes on. Because there are so many receptors in the brain that when you use CBD, it treats that and it drastically improves. I don't know if any of you have seen the videos yet where the children and even adults have epilepsy or seizures or autism with seizures, and I'm talking 400 a day, and then they go to none in a week after using CBD. This is why, because there are so many receptors in the brain. Okay, let's talk about the CBD1. This receptor is found primarily in the brain and more specifically in the basal ganglia of the brain, which regulates your dopamine. And we all know that dopamine makes you happy. That's what happens when you exercise or you run and you get the runner's high. That's the dopamine. Okay, so this is where CBD1 receptors are most abundant. They're also in the cerebellum, and in the cerebellum, this is where you receive sensory systems from spinal cord and other parts of the brain that control motor movement and motor function and skill. It controls voluntary movement too, such as posture, balance, coordination, speech. Again, another reason why CBD is having such huge impact on people like stroke patients. There's stroke patients who've had strokes and can't speak or can't speak well, they start CBD and their speech begins to slowly come back. And some of them it's quickly. So this is why CBD2 or cannabinoid receptor 2 are predominantly found in the immune system or in the immune-derived cells. And they have the greatest density in the spleen. The CBD2 receptors appear to be responsible for the anti-inflammatory and possibly other therapeutic effects, such as pain, helping reduce pain, chronic pain, people that are in those type situations. That's how CBD2 affects. The best studied cannabinoids include the THC, which is the tetrahydrocannabinol, the CBD, which is just the cannabinol, and the CBN, which is cannabidiol. And so, now it's nice and confusing. We've got cannabidiol, cannabinol, and we have tetrahydrocannabinol. That's THC, CBD, and CBN. Those are the three primary ones, and those are the three primary ones that have been studied and tested amongst all of the 113. The THC is the primary psychoactive. We talked about that a little bit ago in the cannabis plant. The cannabidiol, which is the CBD, is the non-psychoactive part of the plant. And the cannabinol, which is the CBN, I'm sorry guys, I'm chasing my papers or my notes, increases, the CBN increases as THC degrades in storage and with exposure to light and air. So let me go back over there again because I got myself confused and I probably confused you. The CBN increases as the THC decreases due to light, air, wind, rain, the outside sources that degrade the THC in the plant. There is one more kind. It's called the CBG that has had some testing, and it's cannabigerol. Not good at this once they get into all of these. It's very difficult to pronounce them, but we'll just go by their acronym, which is CBG. And it is a non-psychoactive, and it has been tested and shown to promote death in cancer cells and to inhibit tumor growth. So that's why CBD products have been shown, or hemp products that have the various 113 different cannabinoids, have been very successful in cancer treatment, in helping to kill off the cancer cells and to reduce or slow down the growth of the tumors. You could have cancer right now, and if you took CBD on a regular basis, it could, I said could, potentially help you decrease the number of cells or make the tumor smaller. So here's a little bit about the cannabis plant profile. The cannabis plant exhibits a wide variation in the quantity and type of cannabinoids that it produces, up to 113. And it's a different variation based on who grew it and what they grew it for and what they extracted from it. The mixture of cannabinoids produced by a plant is known as the plant's cannabinoid profile. Selective breeding, like I said, by the person who is making it, is used to control the genetics of the plant and modify the cannabinoid profile. For example, strands that are used as fibers are commonly called hemp and come from the hemp plant. They are bred such that they are low in psychoactive chemicals like the THC, but they are high in CBD. So hemp plants, which is where most of our CBD comes from, is from hemp, is high in the CBD, which is the treatment which helps in the brain and the body and the inflammation and the different disorders, but it's low in the THC, which is the psychoactive, the part that makes you sleepy, cool, whoa man, that kind of effect. Okay. Then there are strands used in medicine that are often bred for a very high CBD content, and strands that are used for recreational purposes, which are high in THC, and are specifically have that chemical balance. So that just a little bit about the profile and how we can kind of tweak it to what we want. And are we using the hemp plant? Are we using the marijuana plant, the cannabis plant, and how we breed these, because you can make hybrids. The pharmacology, cannabinoids are or can be administered by smoking, vaporizing, which is vaping, like people smoke the cigarettes, you can vape it, oral ingestion, transdermal patches, which is just like the little pain patches and the little numbing patches and things you can put on, intravenous, which is IV, sublingual absorption, which is under the tongue, which is what most of the products that I carry are sublingual. They're under the tongue. Rectal suppository. Once they're in the body, most cannabinoids are metabolized by the liver and then sent out to varying endocannabinoids that they then affix to and do their thing. Okay? Here's a little bit of history about the cannabinoids. They were first discovered in 1940. CBD and CBN, which is cannabidiol and cannabinoid, were discovered in 1940. And we have sat on this and suppressed this for all these years. For what, 80 years? 80 years we've suppressed this. The structure of THC was first discovered in 1964. So that's along the time the whole in the park and smoking and all that kind of stuff got started, I guess. But that's when they were discovered. And we've done a lot of testing and studies, but they've not been in the United States. So if you want to Google and you want to search, you want to look for, Britain, UK is done a lot of studies. Israel has done an abundance of studies on CBD and hemp plants and cannabis, and so that's where I would search, because that's where you're going to probably find more studies and research that have actually been done. Now, this is just not stuff that we're telling you that's not been tested or studied or used in humans as well as animals. The endocannabinoids serve as a messenger. They signal molecules that are released from one cell and activate the cannabinoid receptor present on another nearby cell. Like I said, they just kind of transfer from one cell to the other. It's kind of like getting on one bus to the next bus, or one subway to the next subway, or as you go from one place to the other. This is how cannabinoids go through our system, via the endocannabinoid transit system. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Please like and share this if it helps someone else to kind of understand more about some of the history, some of the studies, how it works, where the endocannabinoids are in our system, and how the cannabinoids affect it, and just that information. Like it, Share it with your friends. Comment below. Subscribe to my channel if you will, please. I'll do different topics. If you drop comments about topics and questions that you'd like to have answered, I'd be more than glad to answer those for you. You can also email me at jdh4, V as in victory, OLS as in Sam, at gmail.com. That's jdh4vols at gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Janet N. Brandy, B-R-A-N-D-Y, Hutton, H-U-T-T-O-N. So Janet N. Brandy Hutton on my Facebook. You send me a message on Messenger. You can reach me by phone or text at 205-613-6804. I'd love to answer any of your questions that you have regarding CBD and the myths that it's had and still has, and the difference between it and the marijuana plant. I'd love to answer any questions that you might have about how it might help you in your health condition or a family member or a friend's health condition. Thanks so much for listening. Again, you can go check out my website and the webpage at cbdapothecarysolutions.com. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And until we meet again, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.